I'm Chad. I'm one of the pastors here at Bethany Church. The way that I came to know Jesus was through the covenant. I'm a covenant kid. The church was always part of my life. I was born, and 2 weeks later I was baptized. And so I grew up in a church where Grandpa and Grandma sat 4 rows in front of me. Uncle and aunts were over there, and cousins, and the church was always part of my life growing up. And so there was never a time where I didn't know about Jesus or who Jesus was. I mean, I mentioned the grandparents being there, but just the church community and being part of like the Christian school community and parents and stuff, then you're loaded up with countless numbers of adults who are walking with you at various stages of your life. And so I can still remember the Sunday school teachers, the cadet counselors, the youth leaders, and then the school teachers too, who each had their own influence at whatever stage of life that I was in, that brought me pretty much to where I am today. Yeah, I would say that this guy, Doug Fulmer, who was a youth pastor at the church that I attended when I was in college, was the one that really brought me into a place of leadership, but then also giving myself back to the church community. I was part of a church where I wasn't really connected to anyone, and I was just a musician there. And so I went to Doug and I said, hey, they had a cadet program at this church too. And so I thought, I was in cadets, I can do that. So Doug, do you need more cadet counselors? And he said, hey, probably, but why don't you show up on Monday night? We have our junior high youth ministry that meets on Monday night. Their first week is coming up. Just show up, hang out with the kids, see if you like it, no pressure to commit, and then we'll talk about it afterwards. And I'd already had a relationship with Doug that was, that I trusted him, and he knew me well enough to make that invitation. And so I went, and it literally changed everything for me. That was the first year that I volunteered in youth ministry, and that set me on a course that led to where I'm at now, 20-something years later. I think when you're raised as a covenant kid, like I said, then it has amazing benefits, right? But then there are some setbacks to it as well. I think what I ended up learning later in life is that just because something is different doesn't necessarily mean that it's weird or that it's wrong or that it's bad, right? It could be that it's just different. And so where that shows up could be anywhere. It could be in other Christian, your other Christian friends who maybe have different backgrounds than you. The way that they express their faith might be different than the way you do it, and it might seem at first to be a little bit strange, but if you really enter into it or explore it a little bit, then you might find the beauty that lies in it, and that it's not necessarily wrong or bad. The same thing can be said for all kinds of other things, like race relations and how you deal with people who are different than you, or even friend groups, or when you go away to college and you're encountered finally, maybe you're outside of the bubble for the first time, bumping up against all kinds of other worldviews and backgrounds that you're not sure about. And so I wish for myself that I had known earlier to broaden my horizons a little bit more, to still hold on to the truth that I was taught and everything that I was given, but not to hold on so tightly to it that at the expense of relationships with others. You can't do any of this by yourself. If you're learning a new trade, you need someone who's going to come along and help you learn that trade. Even if you're teaching yourself how to play piano, you're probably on YouTube with somebody who's helping show you the way to do that. And so the same is true with living a life of faith. You need people along every side of you at whatever stage of life you're in to move along with you and help show you the way or help answer questions, that sort of thing. It's imperative. I've been fortunate to live in a lot of different places where I've experienced, various congregations and work situations and that sort of thing. And so with the worldview that I've been fortunate to develop through the years, I think that enables me to reach kind of a broader cross-section of people from various different backgrounds. Even here at Bethany Church, we're a diverse group, and the kids that we're seeing come through youth group are coming from all kinds of different schools, which is amazing. Families that are coming in and exploring the faith and that sort of thing. We're not so homogenous as we used to be, and so thankfully I think that something that I can offer is being able to walk alongside of people no matter what their background is or where they're coming from.